Hey guys, I'm Glitter Valkyrie, and today we're going to do our best to plus 10 Summer Claude. I was so excited when I saw the silhouettes for this banner, and I was even more excited when we got the full reveal, and I'm really hoping that we can achieve our goal today. So we will talk about all the characters on this banner as we go along, but I just want my Claude. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so as much as this pains me to say it, I think that we will be sniping blue today. And I say that it pains me because there are some other characters on this banner that I want so much. But at the end of the day, my goal is to plus 10 Summer Claude, and I feel like it's pretty possible that I could maybe get pity broken by one of the other units along the way, so I think that that's what we're gonna do. But I was so excited when I saw that Claude, oh my goodness! This is an amazing start. I'm so excited to see him. Okay, let's check IVs. And he is plus attack. That is amazing. I think that plus attack or plus speed is probably going to be the best for him. At the end of the day, speed might be a little bit better, but when I do have a Floret, I will definitely give it to him, but I'm so happy with this start. But I was saying that I was so excited when I saw Claude's kit. He did not seem like a 4-star to me at all. And he's so good with Fallen Star, and I already know exactly what I want to do for him. I want to give him Deadeye, I want to give him a Menace, but I was also thinking about maybe like Speed Smoke 4. I'll have to think about it, but I feel like there's so many possibilities with him, and he's going to be incredibly strong, so I'm just hoping that we can get that plus 10. And as for the other characters on the banner, I am so excited that Summer Micaiah is here. She is one of my favorite characters, and I have every single form of her so far. And so I would love to get this one. I think she's going to be super useful. And I also actually want Dimitri equally. I think that his art is some of the best in the game. He's so cute. And I also think he's going to be really strong. And if by some miracle we could get more than one copy, that would be really great, because I feel like Claude would love some of his skills, but I would also be happy with just one. And I guess the only other character on the banner is Edelgard, and I know there are so many people excited for her, and I hope that you get her. I do not have any interest in pulling her, so that's all I'll say about it. But aside from the characters on the banner, we also have Alencia, and I did want to talk about her because she's probably the most excited that I've ever been for a Tempest Trials unit. She is my favorite Tellius character. Oh my goodness! We got another one. I'm so happy to see him. Alright, let's check this one. And he is minus attack, but that is a merge. And I am willing to use all the feathers on him, so I am super happy with that. But I was saying that I'm so excited for Alencia because she is my favorite Tellius character, and I've been waiting all this time for her to get an alt. And to have the opportunity to plus 10 her when we get all of the copies in the Grail shop is just, it's just so wonderful. I feel like her art is just absolutely beautiful, and I think that I can make her pretty strong. So yeah, I think that she was the other like huge surprise that was so wonderful on this summer banner as well. Oh my gosh, we got another one. This is an amazing start. I'm so excited. All right, let's check this one. And we get plus defense. I will take that. I really do need to keep track. So I think that's 3 so far. So several more to go, but we'll see how this goes. But I guess that does cover everybody on the banner, and so we can probably go ahead and answer our viewer questions now. And as always, if I did not get to your question, I am so sorry. I will try to do it in a future one. And if you think of a question you want to ask me, just leave it in the comments with #question, and I will put your question on my list. So our first question today comes from Nashon Edwards, and they ask, if you were a Pokemon champion, what would your team be? And if you were in the Pokemon world and you were friends with a Pokemon before you were old enough to catch it, what Pokemon would be your friend? Okay, so I think that I would be the like all evolution girl if I were a champion, which would be a terrible idea. But if we're not going with all of the evolutions that I love so much and we had some variety, I think that I would have Galarian Ponyta, I would have Glaceon because that is my favorite evolution. I think if we could have a legendary, I would choose Jirachi because Jirachi is my favorite of the legendaries. And then if we couldn't have that, I would pick Togekiss. and then Altaria and Fennekin, and I think maybe Primarina. I think that would be my team. And as for like a Pokemon that I would have as a friend as a kid, I feel like I'd be too scared to pick like a dangerous one. And I feel like I would just be like a plain old Eevee girl. I feel like that would be my Pokemon friend as a kid. But thank you for that great question. And let's go ahead and answer our next one. And this comes from Mythica. And they ask, what Fire Emblem game besides Fae would you recommend someone play first? And what other games in the series are must-plays in your opinion? And bonus silly question, do you believe in the paranormal? All right, so to answer your first question, I think that Awakening is actually a great starting point for new players to the series. I feel like it takes a lot of the old things with the series and adds some new stuff. I think it's very beginner friendly. And I think there are a lot of fun things that you can do with classes. I feel like Gale Force is super, super fun in that game. And I feel like it has a really vibrant cast of characters. And so for all those reasons, I would start with Awakening. But as for the ones that I think are must-plays, definitely Awakening is one. But I think that FE7 and 8 are just classics that are really good games to play. And then in addition to that, I know this is controversial, but I would say Fates. I love Fates. The story is not the best, I will say that, but in terms of like gameplay, I think that it is the most fun to play. And after getting like a couple under your belt, I would go Conquest personally. But that's my very biased opinion. So that's what I would recommend. And as for your bonus silly question about the paranormal, no, I do not believe in it. I am definitely a skeptic, and so I would say no. But thank you for all those great questions. And let's go ahead and answer our next one, and this comes from Alex Giannusis. And they ask, what are some of your favorite TV shows and movies? So I don't have like a ton of time to watch TV and movies, but I will say that Parks and Recreation is my favorite show of all time. It's just a feel-good show. It puts a smile on my face every time I watch it. It never gets old when I watch it. So that is definitely number one. And as for the other show that I really enjoy, I probably can't say this with YouTube. I feel like they're going to get angry and demonetize me if I say it. It rhymes with Pitts Creek. But it's just a really good show. It's very funny, and it also really just puts a smile on my face. So I think those are my two favorites. And then as for my favorite movie, it's kind of embarrassing to say, but Pride and Prejudice is my favorite. But thank you for that great question. And let's go ahead and answer our next one. And this comes from Chibi Robin. And they ask, how would you build Valadar if you were in charge of putting him in Fae? So I feel like he's definitely going to be a GHB at some point, and if I were to add him to Fae, I feel like he would be good as a tome unit. I feel like that makes the most sense. But if we want to make him a little bit different, why not make him an armored unit? Maybe it doesn't make the most sense, but I don't know. I feel like it'd be nice to have an armored tome that's free. I think that it would be interesting. Maybe you could give him like a budget, I don't know, like a Vengeful Fighter. Why not? Or a Bold Fighter. I think that'd be really nice to have for free. So I think that that's what I would do if I were in charge of putting him in Fae. But thank you for that great question. And let's go ahead and answer our next one. And this comes from Stephen Lee. And they ask, so far, who is your favorite new hero, excluding seasonal unit, that has appeared this year in 2022? And who is your least favorite? So I will say that I have a few. Oh my gosh, 4 blues. This could be 4 Claudes. But I will say I have a few that are my favorites from this year so far. If we can count Ascended units, I would say, oh my gosh. Oh my goodness, I don't think that I have Percival, so that's really, really great. Okay, that is new. Let's check IVs. And he is plus attack. That's amazing. I really, really like Percival, so that is great. So getting back to this very lucky question from Steven, I love Ascended Joshua and Marita. I don't know if they count for this question, but they are my favorite Ascended units. Fallen Ninian! Oh my goodness! You know what? I was actually going to say her. She was one of my other favorites from this year. And she is plus attack. That's absolutely amazing. But getting back to this very lucky question from Steven, I love Ascended Joshua and Marita, Fallen Ninian, and I was super excited to see Rennick as well this year. Oh my gosh, who is that? I don't know who that is. Oh, it's Purple Recruit. All right, I will take that. Let's check IVs. And he is plus attack. Wow. This is some lucky question, my gosh. But getting back to finishing this very lucky question, as for my least favorite from this year, I hate to say this, but pretty much the entire FE7 banner from this year, I was just so disappointed with it. It's probably just because I've been waiting for Oswin all this time and we didn't get him, and I was just not happy with the Ascended Florina when I felt like there were a lot better choices. So I would say that that entire banner was pretty disappointing to me, but I did like to see Kent. That was kind of nice. But thank you for that great question. It was very, very lucky. So let's back out, and we have a couple pulls left. Hopefully we can get a couple more Claudes. We've had a little bit of a drought, but let's go ahead and answer our next one. And this comes from Trazom Guy, and they ask, Xenoblade games have some awesome areas, but also some lackluster areas as well. So in Xenoblade 1 and 2, which were your least favorite areas? So I would agree there are some beautiful areas, but also some very not beautiful areas in Xenoblade. And for Xenoblade 1, I would say pretty much most of Mechonis was my least favorite. It was really hard to go from areas that were so lush and beautiful and creative to like robots. I just didn't like Mechonis all that much. So I would say that that was my least favorite from Xenoblade 1. And for Xenoblade 2, I would say probably Temperantia. It was just so gray. Oh my gosh. I guess there were a couple of interesting areas, but for the most part, I really did not enjoy that area one bit. But thank you for that great question. Okay, please let this be Claude. It's Tailtew. All right, so let's go ahead and back out, even though that was probably like 3 Dimitris right there. And okay, perfect, 3 blues. So let's go ahead and answer our next one, and this comes from Wisdom. And they ask, which of the Black Eagles, Blue Lions, and Golden Deer had the best redesign? Oh my goodness, we got another one. You know, I haven't mentioned it, but I love that he's holding that popsicle. It's so cute. Let's check this one. And he's plus res. That is another merge. I'm so happy with that. So we will just keep going with this lucky question. Wisdom asked, which of the Black Eagles, Blue Lions, and Golden Deers had the best redesigns in the new Three Hopes trailer? Okay, so for Black Eagles, this might be very surprising, but I would say Edelgard has the best redesign. I think that it is absolutely gorgeous. It is just so fitting to her character. There are beautiful colors. Her hair is probably the best out of any form. So while I do have my opinions about Edelgard, I would say she has the best redesign. And as for Blue Lions, I think that Ash had the best redesign. I love what they did with his hair. And then as for my Golden Deer, it is a tie between Marianne and Claude. Claude is just as handsome as ever, and Marianne is just beautiful with her hair down. I just love it so, so much. So that would be my answer. But thank you for that very lucky question. Okay, please be Dimitri. Nope, it's Bartray. All right, so we hit our 40, and I know a lot of people would say this is a bad idea, but we are taking a Claude merge. I just think it's the most efficient. And hopefully we can get like Micaiah and Dimitri when we go on a little further. Yay! Oh my goodness, just one step closer to that plus 10 Claude. And I might be wrong, but I think that's 5 in total now. And we get the thing. All right, so do I end things here for now? Maybe. It's really hard to choose. Like, I don't want this video to be a million years long, but we have orbs left over, so... Oh gosh, what do I do? I'm gonna think about it. Okay, this is probably a bad choice, but we're doing this. I feel like I have the orbs I'm gonna pull, and so why not take this opportunity to answer some more viewer questions? So let's go ahead and answer our next question, and this next one comes from Chris Coy. And they ask, are you picking Golden Wildfire in Three Hopes? You know what, Chris, you know me too well. That is absolutely what I chose in the demo. It was a super easy choice for me. But thank you for that great question. And let's go ahead and answer our next one. And this comes from Toshiro Fan 100. And they ask, do you have a favorite redesign from Three Hopes? And who are you hoping to see come to Fae? Okay, so for your first question, I think that it's probably a tie between Marianne and Claude. I think that they both look absolutely amazing, and they're also just characters that I love, so I have a little bit of a bias there. So they would be my favorites, and who I'm hoping to see come to Faye, definitely Holst. I think that would be really, really cool to see. But I am a little bit skeptical that it's actually going to happen because I feel like we're really close to the launch, and if they haven't added Shez by now, I'm not sure that they're going to. So if we do happen to see that, I would love to see Holst, and I haven't seen who else they've added up to this point, so really he's the big one for me right now. But thank you for that great question. And let's go ahead and answer our next one, and this comes from Deanna Gamer Gaming. And they ask, what are your thoughts on Fire Emblem Three Hopes, and who do you think looks the worst to the best from Golden Deer? Okay, so to answer your first question, I have played the demo now. I picked Golden Wildfire, and so I do have a little bit of an opinion on the game. And for the most part, I will say I don't think that really Warriors games are for me. I don't like the repetition. I don't like button mashers all that much, although I think there's probably a little bit more nuance to this. And so while I don't think that Warriors games are all that much for me, it's a Fire Emblem game. It has some of my favorite characters. It's giving us more story, and for that reason alone, I feel like I have to play it. So while I haven't loved the gameplay from what I've played so far, it's only been a few chapters. Oh my goodness. oh, 5-star. That's gonna save me so many feathers. That's amazing. Okay, let's check this one. Oh my goodness. That is the plus speed that I want, and I feel like that's probably going to be the best boon for him, so we're going to go with that. So I think that it's worth it to pull the entire circle because our pity rate is resetting. So let's get back to this lucky question from Deanna Gamer Gaming. My thoughts on Three Hopes. I don't love the gameplay, but I love the characters, so I feel like I probably will play it. And as for my least favorite to most favorite Golden Deer designs, oh my goodness. I am so glad that we did this circle. This is amazing. She's adorable. Let's check IVs. And she's plus HP minus res. I am happy with whatever IVs I get for her. That is amazing. And maybe this is a Dimitri, who knows? Okay, 3-star. And we get a Freddy. All right, so that is an amazing circle, and I'm just gonna keep going because why not? We have the orbs and we're gonna do it anyway. So getting back to this very lucky question from Deanna, my least favorite Golden Deer designs, oh gosh, definitely Lorenz. Oh my goodness, we got another one. I think this is like the luckiest question of all time. Okay, let's check this one. And he is plus defense, that is a merge. But getting back to this question, Lorenz is my least favorite, and Claude must have liked that. And then I would say probably, oh gosh, I hate saying this because I love Raphael as a character, but he looks like a pirate in his redesign, so I don't super love that. Then I think probably Ignatz and Leonie, they're pretty okay. Then I would say Lysithea, then Hilda is probably next, and then of course my all-time favorites, I have Claude and Marianne. They just look so incredibly amazing. But thank you so much, Gianna, for that extremely lucky question. So let's go ahead and answer our next one. And this comes from Illuminate. And they ask, have you played Genshin's 2.7 Interlude quest yet? And if so, what was your favorite part of it? So yes, I have played that quest, and I feel like I probably have kind of an unpopular opinion of it. It wasn't my favorite overall. I feel like everybody's like raving about how great it was, but for me, it featured a lot of characters that are not necessarily my favorites. I don't dislike them, but they're not my favorites. And so for that reason, I feel like it was okay. Yelan she's a fine character. I'm not super attached. So that was part of it. And Xiao, I don't know. I think that I kind of like him less over time, which I think is the opposite reaction of a lot of people. Oh my goodness, we got another one. I'm so happy that we kept going. That's amazing. Okay, let's check this one. And he is perfectly neutral. I am so happy with that. So let's back out, and we'll just do a little bit more until we're down to our last few orbs, unless we get that plus 10. But getting back to this very lucky question from Illuminate, I feel like I kind of like Xiao a little bit less over time. I think he's still a good character, but Oh, wow. We got Ascended Furum. That's an amazing pull. Let's check IVs. And she is plus defense. That's really, really good. Her fodder is also amazing, so I'm super happy with that. But getting back to this question from Illuminite, I feel like the interlude was okay. But as for my favorite part, I think that probably seeing the Yakshas. I think it's really cool when we see characters that aren't there anymore. I think that that's really neat. And I really wish that some of them were playable. But yeah, I think that that was my favorite part. But thank you so much, Illuminite, for that very lucky question. And let's go ahead and answer our next one. And this comes from Dragor the Great. And they ask, what do you want to see in the next Fae channel? So I will be honest, I was very underwhelmed with the last Fae channel that we had. And I kind of feel like a broken record saying this, but what I want to see are guilds. I want interaction with friends. I want co-op. I really want to just have that extra little bit that will make me play longer. And I think that it would be so fun to be able to send little gifts to friends in your guild to kind of work together on stuff. And I feel like Frontline Phalanx, like they tried and it didn't happen, and I just want to see it go away and get replaced with something that's actually interactive and good. So that's really what I want to see the most in a future Fae channel. And in addition to that, maybe something to make Summoner Duels less gross, because like I haven't played it in weeks. But yeah, that's what I would want to see the most. But thank you for that great question. Okay, please let this be Claude. Oh my goodness. That is Ophelia Dusk. That is amazing. Oh gosh, I love her resplendent form so much. Okay, let's check IVs. And she is plus res, we take that. I am merging mine up, so I'm super, super happy with that. But thank you, Dragor. That was a very, very lucky question. And let's go ahead and answer our next one. And this comes from Big Freckled Ears. And they ask, even if you aren't currently saving orbs, who are you saving orbs for in the back of your mind? And it has to be new characters only, nobody already in the game. So I am obviously very bad about saving orbs. But as for characters that I'm really hoping come to Fae that I would save orbs for, definitely Oswin. I feel like it's never going to happen, but that's who I want to see. And Nina is another big one. I'd love, love, love to see her. And Lucia as well. I feel like she's a character that we will see at some point because she is super popular. But those are definitely my top 3 that have not yet come to Fae. But thank you for that great question. Okay, please let this be Claude. It's Mordecai. Okay, so we have like enough for like maybe one more circle. So let's go ahead and answer one more question. And this comes from Riley Basnet, and they ask, what is your opinion on Klee and Albedo in Genshin Impact? So they are both characters that I think are fine. I think that Klee is actually super cute, but I've never had any like real intention to pull for her. And you know what, let's do one more because why not? And as for Albedo, I just feel like he doesn't have a ton of personality. I think he has kind of a neat design, but he's not one of my favorites overall. But thank you for that great question. And we get a Corrin. All right, so we're out of orbs for now. I can't promise that I won't make some poor decisions in that orb shop. But overall, I am so, so happy with how this went. I do want to thank everybody that submitted questions. I really, really appreciate you supporting the channel. And as always, thanks so much for watching and have a wonderful day.
You didn't really think I'd given up on you coming back, did you? Can you feel it? A new dawn is finally here. Not just for us, though. No. For all of Fodlan. Ride the wave! You're sunk! Summer memories.